Greetings, my fellow philosophical thinkers. LLC News Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful Swampy Mansion, South Florida, and today's date is August 6th, 2018. So let us begin. Alright, cool. Just to let everyone know, I am at Stash, located at 109 South 2nd Avenue, which is in Jansen, America's Backyard and Revolution Live. Oh yeah. So just hanging out, doing as usual. A little bit busy. Get some music in the background, but not too bad. And just chilling as usual. So trying to get some more input about what's going on in Venezuela, where everyone's still worried about the Russian collision. I don't know. I just get a big kick out of it. Folks, whatever you do, please don't get overabundant in this particular fictitious matter. Alright? And you're talking to an individual who's not a Trump worshiper by any means, and I say that in good faith. I just start laughing. People still want to buy the mainstream garbage. Even folks in my age group, my particular demographics, having a damn thing, huh? And I'm not saying I'm better than no one else, with all sincerity. So, we're going to talk about foreign aid. Redistribution of wealth to be exact. Everyone complains about socialism and redistribution of wealth, but it's okay to give foreign aid to Israel. If not, you'd be considered anti-Semitic. And I'm not here to condemn the beautiful people of that nation or state, but their government is just as potent as the rest of us, including the United States as well. When it comes to corruption, it's like cancerous. Alright, so I was actually listening to some stuff from Black and Lost's Wasp, and I had to regret not really keeping tabs on his music. Because it has matured and he's more at peace with himself and talking about what's going on in the world. I guess especially when he did the album Headless Children, he went to a more of a serious role. Because I seen him a couple times during that, when he's like the only quote unquote original member of the band. And I have to admit, when I saw him the last time, let's say about 5-6 years ago, it was a real good set, and I was listening to the song. The song that really got my attention was Babylon's Burning. It's very good, very serious. It's talking about the symbology of what's going on, the mark of the beast and the seven heads and so forth, trying to contaminate the world. Doesn't matter if you believe in God or not, but always see the books like the Bible, multiple books of information. Statism always kills the cause, and that's one thing I always tell folks: you have to separate yourself from the state-run churches because they're pretty one-dimensional. Especially when they file a 501c3, is very self-explanatory. I was listening to a song called Babylon's Burning. It was a really cool song, and he had one too called Slave the New World Order. It was like an 8-minute song. I gotta give him homage because he's still doing it for all these years. And he's not posing around being, it's all been ridiculously fun in the beginning, but he took more of a serious role. And there's some people who are fans of music that still got a cult following, which is very nice. I always give him, homage for that. And I can relate to as well, and many other bands talk about the Babylonian Brotherhood and propaganda and so forth. I give a big list. I could be here all day long talking about it. So, without further ado, we're gonna be reading on a few things. Before that, this is really disturbing because antiwar.com put a tweet out that Scott Horton, Peter Van Buren, and Dan McAdams have been suspended from Twitter. If you go to their accounts, you'll see their old tweets, but they're prohibited from making new tweets. They're reported by @Cats on Earth for criticizing his post. Please complain to Twitter. That's pretty acidine what the social media sites are doing. And even myself, I'm trying to get this hopefully resolved, because even yours.org said I'm banned of posting my content. Usually I do the show. I'm trying to find out what are the merits behind it, because I never had any complaints. I was the one who did. And, well, we'll just wait and see. I'm not going to jump the gun on the site. But I don't like this form of censorship. And if they resolve it, that'd be great. And I can just go on, share information with everybody, and you can do it, and you can just relay it to others. All right, cool. So I can thank David Icke for help putting this out. So I got it from him, and so I had to do more homework on it. I'm going to talk about another extra article as well that occurred down in Florida. But first, this is what we got from PressTV.com, which is based off Iran or Persia, or what land of Aryans that means in Persian. Senators passed bill to increase U.S. aid to Israel to $3.8 billion. And as it says here, U.S. senators are quietly paving the way for military aid to Israel that exceeds $3.8 billion. The number would amount to $23,000 per year for every family in Israel, according to a Friday report by Minnesota-based news website Mint Press News, released amid a media blackout. American senators passed a bill titled the United States Israel Security Assistance Authorization Act of 2018 on Wednesday, paving the way for its most likely approval by the U.S. House of Representatives within the week. And I'm going to talk about that too. Try to examine the bill in its entirety and narrate to you folks. The amount is a result of a memorandum understanding on security assistance between Washington and Tel Aviv. Funding involves an additional $550 million aid for Israel's missile system and $1 billion for U.S. weapon stockpiles in Israel. U.S. military aid in Israel has skyrocketed over the past several years, while the regime forces are engaged in blatant human rights violations against Palestinians in Gaza and elsewhere. Hailed as a great friend for the Jewish people by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, U.S. President Donald Trump has boosted ties with Israel. So who's pulling the strings, right? U.S. President finally broke with decades of U.S. policy by announcing that embassy in Israel would be relocated from Tel Aviv to the holy city of Jerusalem, Al-Quds. Trump made the move despite foreign leaders' warnings that it could stroke further tensions in the region. The Israeli regime, meanwhile, continues its atrocities and expansionist policies in the region. So that's just one of those areas. It's like saying, "Hey, all hail to redistribution of wealth." Ain't that great? Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the redistribution of wealth as a whole, okay? I'd rather do it on a voluntary basis than a conscripted one or a mandatory. Another example of why your tax dollars is being robbed, used, extorted. And like I said before, there's nothing against the Jews as a whole. But when you have individuals out there that want to be tyrannical, and we should all belly up and kiss the floor they walk on, I find this pretty downright unacceptable. Hey, if we imagine if we do that for a country, give a redistribution wealth to a country that supports Hitler's ideology, all hell would break loose. They'll go, Nazis, how dare you? But now everything here, just another distraction. When all you folks out there worry about the Russian collision, you should be paying attention to this. So I want to continue on here. Well, this came from Jewish News Syndicate, and it came out yesterday as well, or JNS.org. It says here the U.S. Senate has passed the U.S. Israel Security Assistance Authorization Act of 2018, a bipartisan piece of legislation that authorizes U.S. security assistance to Israel for 10 years, regardless of which administration happens to be in power. The Senate voted in favor of the $38 billion aid package last week, which was negotiated In 2016, it allows the United States to increase its assistance to Israel and encourages increased weapon stockpiles and U.S.-Israeli cooperative ventures on anti-drone technology, cybersecurity, and space. Can we say Stratford? According to the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, the act authorizes a joint assessment of the kinds of precision-guided weaponry Israel needs to defend itself, allowing the acquisition of such munitions to be fast-tracked. I'm not going to knock that the people in that nation can defend themselves, but we see things a lot bigger, right? The act also authorizes the U.S. war reverse stockpile in Israel for an additional 5 years and allows the president to add precision-guided weapons to that stockpile for Israel for use in armed conflict with Hezbollah. The act seeks to ensure that Israel has the means to defend itself by itself against growing and emerging threats, including Iran's presence close to Israel's northern border, AIPAC said in a statement. In related news, AIPAC commended the U.S. Congress for approving the John McCain National Defense Authorization Act for 2019. Insane McCain. There was even a claim that he was been programmed or has like chips in his brain. That's just allegation, but we all know he is a member of the Council of Foreign Relations, so go figure that. Which includes hundreds of millions of dollars worth of security provisions for Israel. The NDAA authorized funds for research and development on the Iron Dome, David Sling's Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 systems, and $50 million for joint U.S.-Israeli work on the counter-tunnel technology. So think about that. Any tunnels are found, they try to use weapons to counter it. Ain't that nice, huh? Well, one of those things, my friends. And let's go over here. Came from AIPAC.org. Support assistance for Israel and foreign aid. That means redistribution of wealth. The United States has long defined Israel's survival and security as important to its national interests. Accordingly, America provides Israel the sole democracy in the Middle East, with annual security assistance to help defend itself by itself against mounting threats across the region. Please urge your representatives to co-sponsor, and thank you, senators, for passing the United States Israel Security Assistance Authorization Act of 2018, which is H.R. 5141 and S. 2497, authored by Senator Marco Rubio, the glam boy from Florida, and Chris Coons, Democrat from Delaware, and Representatives Eileen Ross-Lighton, who still hates Fidel Castro with the passion and still wants to do embargoes, and Ted Deutsch, my little pea-brain, Peabody, that lives in Fort Lauderdale. Yep, Ted Deutsch, the proud Gino. Yeah, but he don't want the American people to defend themselves. He wants tougher gun laws, but it's okay to send your money to another nation. Ain't that nice? Because he don't want the American people to defend themselves, but the nation of Israel. Hey, when you bend over, you get a lot of benefits. This bipartisan bill seeks to ensure Israel has the means necessary to defend itself by itself against the range of growing and emerging threats. Additionally, please urge your member of Congress to support $3.3 billion in security assistance to Israel, $500 million in the cooperative defense funding for the fiscal year 2019, as called for the 2015 U.S.-Israel Memorandum of Understanding on Security Assistance. The legislation passed the Senate on August 1st and now awaits an action in the House of Representatives. It should be from the bottom up, not top down. So, like what it says here, it makes both countries safer. This is an interesting video. Due to corruption problem. Oh, really? So they don't want to play. Well, too bad. Thing sucks anyway. Excuse my language. But let's see what the key points are. It says here. The key points. Why is U.S. support crucial to America's security? Here's what they have to say. The annual security assistance to Israel is the most tangible manifestation of American support for the Jewish state. The assistance primarily takes on the form of funding for Israel to purchase the arms needed to defend itself from its adversaries. Israel faces serious threats on its border from Iran's growing presence in Syria and Hezbollah army in Lebanon. Israel continues to face significant challenges from the Hamas and in the Gaza Strip, ISIS in the Sinai, and Iran's looming nuclear program. Israel also faces other emerging threats such as cyber, ballistic missiles, and drones. In response, Israel has been forced to strengthen its armed forces and spend more on defense as a percentage of GDP than any other nation in the industrialized world. Oh, really? So how does investing in Israel benefit the United States? In increasingly uncertain Middle East, Israel is the one stable democratic ally upon which America can consistently depend. Cooperation between the two countries in intelligence, homeland security, missile defense, and counterterrorism has helped the United States meet its growing security challenges. And as a result of their strong friendship, the Israel Defense Forces and the U.S. military share technologies and techniques that can greatly benefit both nations. So, I like to say this. That means if you're really a strong ally to the United States, will you admit that Mossad was involved in September 11, 2001, which we all know is part of, they're involved, they're agents of the New World Order as well, or the Cabal, whatever you want to call it? Yeah, let's see if there's man enough, courage enough to say that to the American people that Israel was involved of 9/11. I don't say solely, but they made their contribution with Mossad. So that's the question people should really get, right? Absolutely. What is QME? Qualitative military edge is a core element of the American policy to maintain Israel's ability to counter and defeat any credible conventional military threat while sustaining minimal damages and casualties. In 2008, Congress wrote America's long-standing commitment to Israel's QME into law and required the president continually access whether Israel's QME are being maintained. Why does American security requires a robust foreign aid budget? A robust foreign aid budget is the essential element of America's national security strategy. Disproportionate cuts to the foreign aid and budget will weaken America's leadership role in the world. Could we say New World Order, God bless the empire, all hail to the greater Israeli project? At just 1% of the federal budget, foreign aid is a cost-effective and relatively small investment that saves U.S. taxpayers' money by preventing more costly wars, crises, and disasters. Okay, I'm Wally Cleaver. My best friend's Eddie Haskell. Even though he's a pain in the neck, I still call him my buddy. I'm sorry, I just gotta laugh. This is so acidine to the core. Alright, how can you get involved? Please urge your representatives' support and thank your senators for approving the United States Israel Security Assistance Authorization Act of 2018, which is H.R. 5141 and S. Senate Bill 2497. This bipartisan bill supports $3.3 billion in security assistance to Israel and $500 million to cooperate missile defense funding the fiscal year 2019 as called for the 2016 U.S. Israel Memorandum of Understanding on Security Assistance. So if you support redistributing your wealth to a nation that want us to kiss the floor they walk on politically, you call them. If not, say, hey, I support John Jay's ideology from Federalist Papers 2 through 5, saying that we should not be influenced by foreign nations. John Jay did warn us about this on Federalist Papers 2 through 5, correct? Hopefully you go, folks, read that. Let's look it up. Don't be shy. 'Cause one thing I know for sure, friends, if you are critical of the Israeli government, doesn't make you anti-Semitic or Jew hater, and that is totally half-assed. That's why I always like to tell people, start thinking for yourselves. Don't watch the mainstream news. It's okay to call Benjamin Netanyahu. All right, so it really gets me when everyone go up there just he's probably some Lord and Savior, and it's like, and it reminds me too when Pope Francis went to the House of Chambers, and everyone looked like little kids hypnotized, like Chuck Schumer himself, the Pinocchio of the U.S. Senate. That's why I always tell folks out there, start doing your own confounded homework, because one thing for sure, if you don't, they will blindside you, bite you in the rear end. And this is another reason I'll recommend everyone out there, turn off the idiot box from all those crappy, pathetic, mainstream media. I don't care if it's CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, CNBC, etc. They're just wasting your energy, sucking your brains to be dumb, stagnant, and happy, and a train is coming by. So, we'll be right back. Actually, I will be right back, so stay tuned. Ooh, okay, I am back. Had to chill out a little bit here, but it wasn't too long. So, I recommend everyone call their House of Representatives, say vote no on H.R. 5141. And anyone that supported this particular bill, which is Senate Bill 2497, ask them if they voted yes. Tell them, congratulations on choosing poorly. You say you're against redistribution of wealth, but you just contradicted yourselves. And I say that politely. Okay, so let's just read some of the stuff that's in this bill. This is from Government Track, and it says here, the United States Israel Security Assistance Authorization Act of 2018 from govtrack.us. It says here, a bill to amend Foreign Assistance Act of 1961 and Armed Export Control Act to make improvements to certain defense and security assistance provisions and to authorize appropriation funds of Israel and for other purposes. And it says here, the federal budget process occurs in two stages: appropriations and authorization. This is an authorization bill, which directs how federal funds should or should not be used. It does not set overall spending limits. So it pisses away, right? However, which are the subject of appropriations bill, authorizations are typically made of single fiscal years, October 1st through September 30th of next year, are often renewed in subsequent law. And of course, you got the glamorous Marco Rubio, who introduced this bill March 5th, 2018, with this pretty little face that he could propose for underwear commercials, all right? So according to this, there's a text on here, which last updated August 1st. It's 24 pages long. And may not, we're just going to, talk about this act, of course, passed by the Senate. Hopefully we'll find out who voted for this bill, right? And it's pretty cute, I would say. And, of course, it's Title I, Security Assistance for Israel, and Title II, Enhanced Israel, United States Israel Cooperation. Title III, Ensuring Israel's Qualitative Military Edge, or QME. And of course, talking about the means and all that. And its findings, all right? And this is says right here. I'm just going to do some paraphrasing. This is Title I, Security Assistance for Israel, Section 101 Findings. And it says here, February 1987, the United States granted Israel major non-NATO ally status. All right, so they're not part of NATO, all right? And it says here, on August 16, 2007, the United States and Israel signed a 10-year memorandum of understanding on the U.S. military assistance to Israel. The total assistance over the course of this understanding would equal $30 billion. Okay, now it's going to bring that up, all right, just to let you folks know. And, of course, here's talking about the United States-Israel Security Enhanced Cooperation Act of 2012, which was on July 27, 2012, declares it to be the policy of the United States to help the government of Israel preserve its qualitative military edge amid rapid, uncertain regional political transformation, and stated the sense of Congress that the United States government should provide the government of Israel defense articles and defense services through them such mechanisms as appropriate to include air fueling tankers, missile defense capabilities, and specialized munitions. And of course, on December 19, 2014, President Barack Obama signed into law the United States Israeli Strategic Partnership Act of 2014. So everyone goes, if Barack Obama is anti-Israel, can you explain why he signed this bill into law, which is Public Law 113-296? We'll continue on here with state the sense of Congress that Israel is a major strategic partner of the United States and declared to be the policy of the United States to continue to provide Israel and robust security assistance, including procurement of the Iron Dome missile defense system. Well, the whole thing is here, I'm assisting Israel and all that, and it says here regarding Israel, you got one on Israel's defense systems and extension loan guarantees. Okay, Section 105, Chapter 5 of the Emergency Wartime Supplemental Appropriations Act of 2003 is amended under heading the loan guarantees to Israel. So the guarantee, okay, a guarantee. If you look at Public Law 108-11, 117, statute 576. Okay, so, and it's interesting here because it talks about, it goes up to December 30th, 2019, the second provision by striking September 30th, 2019, and the 30th, September 30th, 2023. So those are like, one of those areas you gotta look at. Of course, Defense Secretary and all that. I'm just like paraphrasing what it says. And of course, guided munitions to Israel, accepting emergencies, okay, modifications, deployment procedures. All right, and so it goes. It's it's pretty long, so you folks can read it yourself. It's pretty absurd. We'll just go through here. Enhance United States-Israel cooperation. And as I said there, 201, Congress makes the following findings. Okay, about NASA, supports coordinates the United States government to reach aeronautics, human exploration, science and space technology. What's that got to do with Israel, right? And of course, we can go down here on Section 7 of that. October 13, 2015, United States and Israel signed a framework agreement between the National Aeronautics and Space Transmission of the United States and the Israel Space Agency for cooperation in aeronautics and exploration, the use of airspace and outer space for peaceful purposes. Sounds like the Space Force is trying to start up here, right? Absolutely. Anything's possible. Section 203, authority to enter in the cooperative project agreement with Israel to counter unmanned aerial vehicles that threaten the United States with Israel. And like I said here about findings, Congress makes the following findings. Let's go a few here. About Iran launch, they said here, February 10, 2018, Iran launched from Syria an unmanned aerial vehicle commonly known as drone and penetrated Israeli airspace. I don't know how meritable is that. And we can even go on here in general. Authority to enter into agreement. The president says here the president is authorized to enter into cooperative project agreement with Israel under the authority of Section 27 of the Arms Export Control Act, or it's Title 22 U.S. Code 2767 to carry out research on and development, testing, evaluation, and joint production. All right. Of defense articles and defensive services, as such as use of directed energy or high-powered microwave technology to detect, track, and destroy unmanned aerial vehicles that threaten the United States or Israel. So this goes on and on and on. Limitations and all that. So you could actually, you can read this for yourself. And it's interesting. It's pretty cute here in the bottom. I'm gonna see here about ensuring Israelis qualitative military edge, or QME. This is Section 301. It's a policy of the United States to ensure that Israel maintains its ability to counter and defeat any credible conventional military or emerging threat from any individual state or possible coalition of states from non-state actors while sustaining minimal damage and casualties through the use of superior military means possessed in sufficient quantity, including weapons, command, control, communication, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities, and the technical characteristics are superior in capability to those of such individual or possible coalition states or non-state actors. Okay, so I do sentimental imperialism at its finest, and I say that in love and good faith. So those areas I'm not really too fond of. Okay, so you can folks can read it for yourselves and make your own judgment. Hey, I say end foreign aid completely across the board, because just another example, my friends, of redistribution of wealth. A lot of people don't like saying that, but don't like to hear it. But you know what? That's just the plain old truth. So I encourage people that are in good faith to vote no. And it's not being anti-Israel either. They have the right to defend themselves, but not common defense, not superior offense. That's how I look at it. So that is my views on this particular foreign aid ordeal. And we're going to do one more here, which came from, originally it was on shtfplan.com. Originally was published by Zero Hedge, Zero Hedge by Tyler Durden. It says here, armed bystander takes down gunman at Florida's children's event. It says here, an armed bystander licensed to carry a firearm shot a gunman who opened fire at a back-to-school event at Tootsville Park, reports local ABC affiliate WFTV9. So all those folks from March for Our Lives couldn't say a damn thing, can they? It says here, the shooting occurred at Isaac Campbell Park on South Street shortly after 5:20 p.m. The shooter, whom police have not identified, returned to the park after a fist fight and began firing. The bystander licensed to carry a firearm, then shot the shooter, who had flown to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries, police said. There's a full video on that. Let's continue on here. The bystander who shot the gunman has been fully cooperative with the investigation, according to local police. We are extremely grateful that nobody else was injured in this incident, said Deputy Chief Todd Hutchinson. The suspect opened fire at a crowded public park. This could have been so much worse. There's a tweet on here as well about Isaac Campbell Park shooting, scene secure. One male victim of airlifted to local hospital with life-threatening injuries. Tootsville police detectives on scene conducting an ongoing investigation. A flyer posted on Facebook and Instagram said a back-to-school event called Peace in the City was going on at the park when the shooting happened. While we expect Second Amendment advocates will point to this incident as a good guy with the gun taking down a bad guy with the gun, gun control activists are likely to pretend it never happened or that the local police would have intervened. After all, when seconds count, the police are just minutes away. You can see the videos yourself, and I do have to commend that because, like I said before in my past episodes, technically the police aren't obligated to protect you as an individual because they're considered public employees. That's under Florida Statute 768.28. So they do praise the man, the bystander, who defended those people. He saved a lot of lives that day. And they have those are the reasons why I am pro self-defense. I do support basic rights. Our basic rights, our natural born rights, are considered inalienable, guaranteed under Article 1, Section 2 of the Florida Constitution. If you want to know more about the police protection myth, look up Wong versus the City of Miami in 1970. And they state in the Supreme Court justice say it again, that police aren't obligated to protect an individual. And I say it's in good faith. It's never ever trying to go after the police. Only rogue elements. Anyone that's considered rogue, I'm not afraid to call them out on the air or on the streets. So that's how I see the world. So all you folks out there, if you believe tougher firearm laws or victimless crime laws, if you own like bump stocks, people should be going to jail. You are part of the problem, not the solution. So that's just why a person like myself who lived in South Florida for 41 years, I don't want to be dictated by residential tourists. You don't tell me how to think or wipe my rear end. Okay? Plain and simple. And this is why you better start learning the real truth and how to do things when it's necessary. So I give homage to this individual and hopefully more folks can follow through. Not blame Rambo, but using finesse. So, that is it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us on social media networks. Give your questions, comments, or you want to say something that's interesting. Excuse me, I'm just mumbling there for a moment. Whatever you do, please address your correspondence with the corner. You can hit me at all the multi-social media outlets. Just type in Lucky Luck 3 with the Roman numeral 3 or the number 3. And you can find me, because I could be here all day long. But I know I'm not on yours. I can't really. I could probably send comments on yours.org. However, have been they banned me from content, laying content for the time being. I'm still trying to find out why. Or you can email me at lookyluck3@gmail.com. In addition, lookylucknumbers03@protonmail.com if you have a Proton Mail account, especially the ones that love to be encrypted. Okay? All right, my friends. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember, Captain Monarch resistance is helpful to the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading love, and may the guardian spirits be with you.